Walleye in action as Wheeling made the trip to Toledo prior to today's blizzard. And it was a festive crowd on hand to see the Fish take on the Nailers, a team they've struggled with this season. Brett McKenzie, playing his first game since November 23rd, gets the scoring started for the Walleye with the goal in the first period. Wheeling would score 2 unanswered, so they're up 1 in the second. Cam Hossinger making it 2-1 late in that first period. Walleye first power play, nice tic-tac-toe passing from Brandon Hawkins to Gordy Green to Thomas Ebbing for the goal. So we are tied at 2 after 2 in the third. McKenzie and Hossinger would each get their second of the night. But did you hear Mitchell Hurd? Yeah, he unties it. It's 4-3 with 2:16 to go. But 20 seconds later, Wheeling answers right back, retying the game at 4. This one stays tied, and we are headed to overtime. The Walleye, they would muster a point in overtime, but they would lose as Wheeling gets the victory. At 7 straight games now that Toledo has gotten at least 1.5 for the final. Fish back at home Tuesday against Newfoundland, which starts a busy stretch of 4 games in 5 days, not the way they wanted to go into the Christmas break.
Not good enough in the third once we get those 1-goal leads, and to give up that last one there, it's disappointing. We need to start winning at home. We need to start winning against our division, and we got to find ways. That's a game we have to win right there, and we didn't. We got to do a better job keeping momentum, you know, and we get those 1 goals. It seems like the next shift they're right in our zone and have a scoring chance, and we're asking our goaltenders to make big saves. So it's on our guys that when we score a goal, we give up a goal. That next shift's got to be ours.
With more from the bank tank, we turn to Matt Melzek and Kendall Leinenkugel.
All right, back out here at the Huntington Center. Kendall, this game, this one really had a lot of back and forth in it. It looked like 2 really even teams going head-to-head. It just ended up being Wheeling coming out on top.
Right. If I had one word to describe this game, it would be dogfight. This game was absolutely insane, back and forth the whole game. The Wheeling came in ahead by 1 goal towards the beginning of the second period, but once Thomas Ebbing tied it up in the second, we got to the third, and it was just back and forth. Within a minute and a half, within 17 seconds was the second time it went back and forth. It went into overtime, and unfortunately the Walleye just could not get this one. And certainly one thing Dan Watson told us after the game, you gotta make sure you win those next shifts, right? You look at the goal 17 seconds after in the 4-on-4, and right away Wheeling scores minute 20 after Toledo had taken the lead. Twice they did it in the third period. Got to win those games, and I think that's certainly what Dan Watson was talking about post-game. I think what they need to do is just take it shift by shift, like Dan Watson said, is after you score that goal and you keep the momentum, I think the Walleye just need to be able to not go back on their heels and keep powering through the next shift and keeping with the momentum. And unfortunately with this game for the Walleye, it was just the very next shift they score a goal, they give one up. So I think the Walleye need to work on keep taking it shift by shift and keeping the momentum going every single time. Although they do have that momentum of looking at the standings and knowing that they have now gone 4-0-3 in their last 7 games, so they have picked up at least a point in 7 consecutive games. Those are points you may need later in the year, and Toledo riding that streak right now into the Christmas break and off to a game against Newfoundland next up for Toledo on Tuesday night here in downtown Toledo. Let's send it back to you now in the studio.